So this is, like I said, a basic introduction to crypto trading. The first thing I'm going to go through is basically what is cryptocurrencies. So cryptocurrencies are basically a digital asset. When we say digital asset, you basically use it as a medium or exchange for purchase, the same way that you would use, or the intention is the same way that you would use your general money, the way that you use rands to buy a car, a house, groceries. For us, this would be our currency of the future. It's something that we believe we all will transition into as the years go by.
So we'll
we
all
all
transition
basically,
into.
well, yes,
Sorry,
I mean, I guess
no,
that is the
I
aim.
had to
Hey,
interject. No, I had to interject because very interesting pick you got on your first slide. I mean, Rands buys groceries, crypto buys Lambos. This has got me. Yeah, okay. People are gonna be like skeptical,
that,
like what's going on here? But
well, the Lambo is there for a very, very, very important point. The reason is basically everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to trade crypto, I'm going to get to buy a Lambo next year. And I think that we need to obviously have realistic expectations. What we have here is a currency, like I said, that's going to be of the future. It's currently very early on in its days. It has a lot of volatility, lots of ups and downs. And I mean, us in the crypto community believe that soon we'll be adopting crypto as a means of purchase. And I mean, we also obviously thought it would happen much later on. However, if you look at how things are going now, with China slowly transitioning into using cryptocurrency alone, this might actually happen faster than we think. The thing about cryptocurrencies is that it is decentralized. And when I say decentralized, I'm going to get to that on the next slide. Basically, the way that our transactions are saved on ledgers that are linked to banks, here our records will be stored in an online ledger, which is secured by cryptography. And the reason why we trade crypto currently is because it would be in the same way as we trade Forex. It is not a share in a company. It is basically a currency which we will trade. And a lot of and that would be to grow our wealth, to increase our buying power. But we must always remember that we need to manage our expectations. We need to have realistic expectations. You are definitely not buying a Lambo anytime soon by putting in 10,000 Rand into crypto. Maybe if you put in a whole lot more, but not now.
Yeah. Thanks, Akina. If I could just come in.
You guys will agree, hey?
Yeah, totally.
Yes?
I'm not going to interrupt your presentation going forward, but yeah, I just thought it's important, especially since you had the Lambo. So I've been hearing that a lot. Guys talking about getting that Lambo. So a lot of the new people on here, please don't think that this is a get rich quick scheme, because if you start that, then it's going to be all about the hype. It's going to be all about FOMO, and you could get yourself burnt very, very badly. Because and I'm sure you're going to speak about the fact that we're now in a really good bull market, but everything that goes up must come down. So people must not now start, because like I've heard of friends who friends who are remortgaging their home to put it into crypto, and that's when it starts becoming dangerous. Because when you start taking out loans, that's when you need to just be a little bit careful. But yeah, cool. That's it from me. Thanks.
No, that is definitely dangerous. So you need to understand that any money that you're trading is wealth that you want to grow, but that you can also not miss within your daily life. The same thing goes for when you're investing in shares, when you're investing even in the property market. You don't want to go ahead and take all your savings and just go all in. You need to learn. There's a big learning curve, a big learning period. Those of us who've been in 2017 will tell you that we're only getting the hang of it even currently. It's not something that you can learn overnight. And it's not something that you can just go all in with every penny that you have. So yes, just to keep in mind that you have to have realistic expectations. Now, the next thing. Now, a lot of people ask, well, then what is different between crypto and normal money, which in the crypto world we call fiat. So it is actually called fiat, but you hear it more often here. So basically, fiat money is government issued, right? And currently, contrary to popular belief, it is not backed by gold. A lot of people think it is backed by gold. It obviously started that way, but with the advent of oil and the US somehow taking economic power, our currency is currently not backed. It is basically, a currency is basically what we believe it to be in so far as the value is concerned. Basically, fiat money gives central banks greater control over the economy because they control how much money is printed. Currently in the news, I'm sure you've heard that the US federal bank is just printing money to give handouts to the US citizens, and that the effect of that is not yet known in the economy. If you're busy printing money anyway, I mean, you can understand that that money would depreciate, but we haven't seen that to such an effect yet. Also, the danger of, I did explain that. The other thing is that between, like I have in this picture, the only difference between these two notes is your belief that one has more value than the other. It is not backed by anything other than the value that us as an entire population of this earth believe. Yes, it gives us buying power. Yes, it's what we have taken majority of to actually purchase and purchase things in our life, but we don't know how stable it is, if you can understand. The other thing is that if you do believe that currency is currently backed by gold, we need to understand that gold is not a rare reserve as we are made to believe. It is actually quite plentiful. Yes, the mining process is quite tedious, but it is actually not as limited as certain cryptocurrencies or as most cryptocurrencies. So basically, now that we've got an intro into what our cryptocurrencies are, I just want to try and kidnap host on this. Can you guys see me, or do you see the presentation currently?
The presentation? But
okay,
you're right in the corner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In the corner, okay. Right. So now getting started, right? Cryptocurrencies, as you store money in your wallet or in a bank, cryptocurrencies are stored in a wallet. Okay, you can either have a hard wallet, which is a USB type device that you can go out and buy, or a soft wallet, which is software that you can download on your computer, which stores your currency. And what we basically use to trade cryptocurrencies is the exchanges like Binance and all of that, right? So beginning with cryptocurrencies, the first thing that you need to do, obviously, is to open a trading account and make sure that you verify. Now, with this verification, okay, so I'm just going to go over this. It's just an overview. So you open a trading account and verify. What you want to do next is secure your trading account. You then want to review your fee structure of the account you choose and find out how to save on fees. That is very important when getting into it. I'm going to go into more detail on all of these points now. Then what you need to do is transfer your money into the account and start trading. So when opening a trading account, there's many exchanges to choose from. There's things like Binance, Valor, Luno, Gate, Coinbase, and many, many, many more. The fact that all of these exist also scares some beginners away in thinking that why are there so many places? If you think about trading Forex, the same applies. You would have way more places where you can actually trade Forex. Guys, if you have a question, please raise your hand so that I can actually see your questions. And I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. Okay. So with regards to Forex trading, there are way more Forex trading platforms than there are platforms for trading crypto. So these are the most common that I've seen people use. In South Africa in particular, finance, and that is for the simple fact, Luno, for the simple fact that it was easiest for us to transfer money into Luno at the beginning of this whole thing. However, Yes.
I think
Sorry, are
someone
you guys
is.
there?
Sorry, Sakina. I think someone's unmuted. Guys, can you please mute yourselves? Everybody, please check if you're muted, because we're getting some feedback. Only if you have a question, then maybe jump in. But otherwise, please keep yourself muted. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, please. Yeah, try and keep yourself muted. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. There's a little button at the bottom of the screen that says raise your hand, and then I'll answer your questions there. But if you guys want to interject at any time, that's fine with me. Like I said, this is a discussion. Okay, so yeah, so there's a lot to choose from. Luno, most popular because it used to be the easiest way to get our money in. We then used to transfer to Binance where we could trade. Currently, you can actually just put in South African rand into Binance very easily through a credit card or through EFT. Luno is quite restricted. You can only trade Litecoin, Ripple, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. You cannot really trade most of the cryptocurrencies that exist. Binance, I would say, has the largest database. I don't know if one of the other guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the one that I use, and it's the one that I am most familiar with. All of the trading accounts require verification. This scares a lot of people in that why are they asking me for my details? The reason is to protect you. It literally is for your own safety. If you lose your phone or if you lose your account and you need to then regain control, the fact that you are verified means that Binance can actually link your account to you as a person and allow you to continue trading and allow you to have access to your funds. The higher level of verification on most of these platforms, the more then that you'd be able to trade. So it does actually limit your trade if you do not verify. The next thing, which is very important, I think everyone will agree, and something that a lot of us didn't do in the beginning, is to actually secure your account, right? And securing your account starts from the very beginning when you actually make your account or register for your account. So you need to ensure that the password you choose is not generic. It's not your date of birth. It's not your dog's name. It's not something that is complicated but used across all of your accounts. It needs to be different, needs to be unique. And you must remember that if it's difficult for you to remember, which is a lot of the time an excuse used for why you don't want to make it difficult, you can understand that it will be more difficult for hackers to actually figure out. Also, don't store your passwords on your phone. Store your passwords on a piece of paper in your drawer or somewhere where nobody would be able to link it to your phone. Ensure that when you make your account, you do the SMS or email verification. You do two-factor authentication, which is where you download Google two-factor authentication, which is the one that I use, and you continue with that. I will go through the steps in doing this at the end of the presentation so that those who know how to do it don't have to really go through all of that with us. The second step that I would say is to register on two devices in case of theft. Let's say your phone is stolen, you can go to your laptop and you can remove your phone as a safe device and you can continue trading. Whereas if you only register on your phone is gone. Firstly, you won't be able to trade unless you regain your account, and also you can't quickly disengage your phone from your Luno exchange account or from your whichever trading account. The next thing, fees. Now, fees you think is not very important because it looks like it's very minuscule when you look at it. But you need to review fees before depositing money. You need to understand that different types of deposits attract different fees. So if you are depositing via credit card or whether you are depositing by doing an EFT, they attract different types of fees, and you need to make sure that you are obviously not wasting whatever money you earn on fees, right? Also, another way that you save is that certain cryptocurrencies themselves, when you transfer them across different exchanges, attract different types of fees. Like Bitcoin itself is known to be a lot more expensive than Litecoin or Ripple. Also, the other way that you can save on fees is by using referral links. So if you look at the referral links for Binance, if you are given a referral link that allows you to earn 10% back of your fees, then you're actually saving in that where yes, the person who referred you will also earn, but that does not increase what you pay. It actually allows you to save as well. And then the other way of purchasing crypto is that, like on Luno, for example, if you convert on Binance or if you buy now on Luno, you actually see that the fees are a lot higher than if you place a limit order. I'll go through that later as well. The other thing is you need to then finance your account. Okay, the ways you can finance: credit card, EFT, or transferring crypto from one account to the next, right? And then you need to start trading. Now, here's the important thing, okay? When you start trading, you need to be able to define your goals. When I say define your goals, you need to decide, okay, do I want to increase, first of all, my holdings in crypto, which a lot of us try to do, is try to actually increase, let's say, our holdings in Bitcoin or our holdings in crypto in general? Or are you trying to increase your value in rands or US dollars, right? Which, if you are trying to do that, you would be looking more at the value of certain cryptocurrencies against the rand or certain cryptocurrencies against the US dollars, right? The second thing you need to decide in order to achieve your goal is how much time do you have to achieve it, right? Historically speaking, we know that our cryptocurrencies have been doing much better than, have been growing quite high compared to our normal fiat currencies. So if you bought crypto, let's say if you bought Bitcoin 1 year ago, your value would be at 170% of what it was the time that you bought it. So it is very easy for you to say, okay, I'll buy some crypto and leave it. If you do not have the time, you could basically just buy whenever you have extra cash and leave it to grow. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you have time, let's say weekly, to make a few clever trades, you could do that as well. And if you decide you want to, give in a lot more of your time, you can actually go ahead and continue adding, you can actually go, review the graphs and trade on a daily basis like what most of us do, right? Just remember your goals. Don't take too much time if you don't need to take that much of time. Try always to keep that in. It's a lot because of the amount of cryptocurrencies on the market, because of the amount of pairs. You often sort of digress and you often lose track of what you're actually trying to build. And tracking is actually something that is quite difficult. I think all of us struggled with it. What we usually do is we create an Excel sheet. There are sort of websites and things or apps that can track your stores of cryptocurrency and your trades. I don't use them because I don't want to link my Binance account to some third-party website. I would rather just track it manually. I have an Excel sheet where I put in my buys, my sells, and that's the way that I track, right? When I said that you need to remember your goals, a lot of the times if you're looking to increase your, let's say your fiat, you would want to use on Binance the pairs with USDT, which is a tracker of the US dollar, and basically try and grow your USDT, because then you can then convert that to your fiat and withdraw the money if that's what you want to do. You need to remember, however, that withdrawing this money does attract tax. It's not something that you can just withdraw at any time and think that it's tax free. SARS is getting around to actually trying to catch people who are using crypto and things like that, but I think their technology is far behind what we have currently. A big suggestion, this suggestion here is, I'm going to come back to that now, right? I just want to go through, does anyone have any questions currently?
Well, Sakina, it's Teja.
Yeah.
Okay, to us, as in you and me now, things like BTC, USDT, BNB, I mean, that's second, I mean, we know exactly what that is, but to anyone who's very new to this, these terminologies might still be pretty confusing. So maybe just explain properly what USDT is, even BTC, it's, those are tickers and, all those kind of things. So, because otherwise it's just going to look like Greek and you don't want people to switch off too soon.
100%. Okay. So when we're talking cryptocurrencies, right? The most common or the most famous that we all know is Bitcoin, right? Anyone who goes into cryptocurrencies will start with Bitcoin, right? It's not because just hold on 1 second. I'm just having a little bit of trouble with my internet. Okay, guys, do you see me looking at you here?
In a window at the top, we don't see the presentation. I think you're on the main screen where it's just the
I'm
users,
on the main
but
screen.
yeah, but it's only you who's displaying your video.
Okay, cool. Okay, so basically, when we're looking at Bitcoin, right, which is what we use. So each cryptocurrency has a sort of symbol that goes with it. So BTC, we would be talking about Bitcoin, right? And with Bitcoin, the reason why a lot of people store Bitcoin is because it is basically crypto gold, if I can say that. Yeah, the same way that it's first of all the first of the cryptocurrencies that came into existence. It is old, and a lot of people are not really, they don't feel that it's the best. But basically, it is what we started with. And if any person comes into cryptocurrencies, that is where you start. And because of that, you'll find that the Bitcoin price has the least volatile from all the other cryptocurrencies and is the most consistent in its gains. A lot of people will be like, consistency in crypto doesn't really exist. But if you look at the long term, it does actually exist in that there is this progressive increase in value. Yes, there are steep drops, corrections, which we call corrections, but it does actually regain its value after that. When we go to fiat, what we use is ZAR, as in the South African rand. You can also use the US dollar or any other fiat currency. But the thing is that when you're on a trading platform, which isn't, let's say Binance, you can't actually trade between ZAR and Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. What you would use then is something called USDT, which is a tracker of the US dollar. So the tracker of the US dollar just means that it holds the value of the US dollar. So if you trade those pairs and you increase your USDT holdings, you are in fact increasing your holdings of you are actually increasing your holdings of fiat currency or rands. And if you had to convert it, you'd find that at the end of all of that, you'd have more rands than what you actually put in.
Sakina,
the other thing, yeah.
Maybe we just tell the guys the USDT we're talking about. If you hear the word stable coin, it would be the USDT. Yes. Okay, so what she basically means, it doesn't drop, or it doesn't increase, or it doesn't decrease. It just stays stable the entire time. So for me, as an example, I use it like a bank account. When I want to just keep my money safe, I don't want to worry about it. I take it out of the coin and I put it into a stable coin, and it's not going to drop and it's not going to increase. Thanks.
Right, exactly. That's basically, he summarized it quite well. Okay, so I've posted up my Binance link. The only reason I've done that is that if anyone hasn't yet started, it's a good place to start. You can use a friend's link, you can use whoever's link you want, or you can go straight there. My link in particular, I share my profits. So if any fees that you pay, 10% will come back to you. 10% goes to me. Usually it's like a 20% fee that goes to whoever refers you. But that's of the fees only. It doesn't cost anyone anything. Okay, so now I want to go to actually, can I ask? Yeah?
Yeah, maybe it's a good time now, because mentioning that could get people going, oh, this sounds like it's a network, multi-level marketing or
it's just that a lot of people who are on here have told me that they haven't started yet and don't know where to start. I'm not networking anything. I don't actually, this is actually my first time I'm actually doing this. I just thought that it would help the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing
What I'm
here
trying to
is
say
paid
is,
for.
yeah, no, well, but the way you mentioned it, they could think like, oh, now what is she doing? She's
Oh
now talking
yeah.
about sharing topics and stuff. Just to let everyone know,
So
because I've also registered on Binance as well. All
yeah.
this is no pyramid scheme. It's no MLM. It's pretty much just whenever you make a trade on Binance, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sakina. Every time you
Yeah.
make trade, there's a certain there's trading fees that need to pay to Binance, and we're all going to pay it anyway. But in a case like this, you get a certain discount off it, especially if you refer someone else. So absolutely, it's completely legit. You can even share the page with them, Sakina, explaining how that works, just so that everyone can rest assured that there's no hidden agenda here, because there isn't.
There really isn't. So the thing is that either way you pay fees. I'm going to show you how to save on fees now in the next few minutes. I hope I can actually finish. But yeah, so there's always a fee to pay. It's the same as it's basically, I mean, you can use like I said, you're free to use a friend's referral link. You're free to use anyone else's. It's just basically one of the ways that you can make sure that you're on the actual site, right? Is to use someone's trusted referral link, or you can actually ensure that when you're putting in the link on, or like www.binance, you make sure that you spell it correctly. That's another way that you can make sure that you don't go on any mirror site where they put one word wrong and you end up putting your info into some random hacking site that goes on. So basically now I just want to go through, is there any questions thus far? Like any of the new guys have any questions that you'd like to ask? Or can I go through basically what Binance is and how it works?
Okay, Sakina, while we're waiting for anyone, just wanted to say a lot of people here are probably on Luna already, and they may remember seeing somewhere on Luna where it says, "Hey, refer a friend, you'll get 25 Rand in Bitcoin." Now, Binance, what Sakina's talking about is pretty much exactly the same thing. So it's just rewarding you for referring more people, because all they want is more people on the exchange. And more people on the exchange is obviously firstly better for the exchange because they make money off all the trades. But I guess with the more people, there's more volume, and it makes the trading less volatile. Because as you see different exchanges like Binance versus Luna, you'll see the price of Bitcoin is different. So that all depends also on how many people are on that exchange and how actively the coins are being traded. It gets a bit more complex, but yeah, I think that's about it for now.
Right. Okay, cool. So sorry, I had a whole lot of stuff open on my screen. Okay, so I just wanted to go through basically what you'll see when you actually go onto Binance, right? We're going to do this very quickly, simply because I don't think we have a lot of time. So there's a Binance overview. So when you go onto the reason I'm doing Binance is because it's what I'm most familiar with. It's what allows you to trade way more cryptocurrencies than Luno. And it's one of the most popular with regards to, let's say, you end up following some people within the crypto community. They will give you suggestions, and most of the suggestions can be done on Binance. I'm not sure if others have better luck with any of the other exchanges, but I mean, that's what I've found so far. Okay. So first of all, when you go onto Binance, like you said, it says create a free account. Basically, creating the account is free, and you can do so via mobile, using your mobile or your email. You don't actually have to use both. Also, if somebody has given you some sort of referral ID that you'd like to, let's say a friend introduced you to crypto, you can actually just put in their referral ID so that they benefit and you benefit from reduction in fees, right? The next thing is that once you created your account, you can actually go and download the app, or you can actually create the account on the app. So when you go to the app, ensure that if you can see here, I'm not sure if you can see my little pointer, but where it says Binance Inc., make sure that what you see here on my screen is the exact app that you are using. Binance, Bitcoin Marketplace by Binance Inc. And you're going to install the app, and then that'll allow you to continue trading on your phone. The reason I'm showing you this on my phone is because most people have their phones with them and trade on their phones. There are a few that trade only on their computers, but this is the most convenient that I find. So once you've made your account, you end up seeing a page like this. A lot of the time it would be white or dark. I have mine on dark mode, which is why it showed this when I started. So on the top, you'll see verify your account. So now that's what I was talking about was very important. That came all the way up in the early stages. The reason you want to verify is so that you can actually trade bigger volumes. It's actually done for your own safety. At first, they just ask you for your ID, and they ask you for, I think it's a picture of your ID or your passport. The only reason they want that is that they can actually trace your account should you lose all your phone or your device or lose your password. There are other methods, obviously, but that's one of the things, right? So this version that I have here is called Binance Lite. You don't want to be using Binance Lite. Okay, you need to ensure that on your entire, I made my sister create an account just so you could actually see what it looks like. So Binance Lite, if you see here, there's a yellow on the right-hand corner, there's a yellow thing to switch that off. I would highly suggest switching that off because it actually allows you to trade much more efficiently. Once you go on to Binance Lite, like I said, the first Binance Professional, the first thing you'd want to do is ensure that your account is secure. So you go to security, you end up clicking security, and it will take you to this page, right? On security, there are 4 different types of authentication. You must understand that as you activate each one, logging in would become a bigger issue on each new device, but it ensures, and obviously taking out funds, but it ensures that no one can just sort of, figure out your password and have access to your funds. So the first thing that we always do, all of us did, was Google authentication. So once you actually click on Google authentication, it will actually tell you what to do. Binance is quite user-friendly in that way. So it will tell you, please go and install the Google Authenticator application on your phone. So you install the Google Authenticator application. Once you do that, you switch on Google Authenticator, and it will take you through the process of actually, getting that. So what Google Authenticator does is that it produces a code that you must use within 60 seconds. That changes every 60 seconds whenever you want to do any big transactions, like taking money out of your account or putting your account or logging into your account from a new device. So it's actually there to protect you, to ensure that no one can have that code, and so that you can just log in without any issues and without, So then you end up going, you can also then enable your SMS authentication and your email authentication. I would suggest at first you just do one of these 2, and then you can take it from there. And obviously the security key authentication as well, if you want that 4 levels of protection. Then what you do, like I said earlier, is if you haven't authenticated yet, this is the screen that you would go to. Once you switch off Binance Lite and enter Binance Professional, this is what your screen will look like, okay? So as you can see at the bottom of the screen, there is 4 tabs, right? You have your home. You can see a trade of mine just went through. So happy. So you can actually see a home tab, markets tab, trade tab, futures tab, and a wallets tab, okay? The home tab basically gives you what we have here, which is on the top, the different features that you have on Binance. The very important one is this here, credit card, credit or debit card. Wait, let me just see. Okay. So this here, where you can actually just use your credit card or debit card to deposit funds into your account. The other way you can deposit is by using that tab over there. Okay. Then we have the bottom of the page actually shows you a ranking list. What the ranking list does is that it basically shows you what are the most let's say when it says hot, it's basically the most used or the most famous pairs of that day, what people are currently trading a lot of. Then you see something called gainers. So gainers is basically showing you, why is this not erasing? I have no idea. Okay, so gainers actually shows you what are the top gainers. So if we go to the next page, we can actually see that. And if you click on losers, it'll show you, and you can see there's quite good values here. I mean, certain coins are going up 709%, but you must remember that that's not something that you'll catch all the time. If you're lucky, you catch those. But when you see these big numbers, it's important to actually trade carefully. You see things like Doge at that point when I took that picture was going up about 60%. XRP was up 24%. And then you go to the losers and it shows you what are the biggest coins that lost value that day and 24-hour volumes as well. The next thing is you would go to, I'm not sure if you guys can actually see at the bottom the tabs on the screen. There we go. So at the bottom, you see home, markets, trades, futures, and wallets. So that allows you to navigate through the app. So if you go to markets, it'll basically show you on the first tab here, which is your favorite. So those are those coins that you actually star, and I'll show you how to do that later. It then shows you your BNB, which is your Binance coin pairs, your Bitcoin pairs, and the rest of your currencies. And that's what it's showing you here. So when you click on, let's say, BNB pairs, it shows you every single cryptocurrency and what it's worth against the Binance coin. The same for Bitcoin or alts, if that's what you want to find out. Also, you can use the different tabs to actually sort out your cryptocurrencies. So if you go by, let's say, if you click on 24-hour change, so that will list your coins in order of the change in 24 hours, which will actually tell you, okay, in the last 24 hours, Swerve BNB has gained 33%, and that will be in descending order. The same if you want to change it, you click on that little arrow on the top and it'll show it to you in ascending order. Also, you can find the coins that are the most expensive versus the cheapest according to your coin, and that'll be that'll show if you click on this little last price triangle. So that's in descending order, ascending order, and so on and so forth. The next part, which is the most important part of any trading account, I'm showing you Binance, but it would be the same on any other. If you see there at the bottom, I've clicked onto trades, and that is where you will actually be able to start buying and selling coins. Okay. So here on the top, you need to see that it's on your spot trading account. Okay. The rest of the trading account is a bit complicated, and that's for another day. So your spot trading account, I've clicked the pair, I've clicked the Binance Bitcoin pair. So basically here on this side, it tells me the current price that it's trading at is 0.0082 Bitcoin for one Binance coin. And when we're trying to buy and sell, what we normally do in the beginner phase is use this here as limit. It does actually open up to give you other options, but in the beginning, you're just going to use limit. You're going to decide this is the price at which you're going to buy the coin. This, you can either say you want to buy one BNB coin, two BNB coins, 0.0001 BNB coin, however much you want. You can either decide the price in the coin that you're trying to buy or in the amount of Bitcoin you're willing to spend on it. If you had to choose USDT, which is what we were talking about earlier, which is a stable coin or coin that tracks the US dollar, you would then see USDT here and BNB here, or whatever other coin you're trying to buy or sell here, and that's how you would go ahead buying and selling. If you want to sell a coin, you click sell. The same thing goes. You're going to say how much of the coin you want to sell and sell or buy at the bottom there. Now, when you click on the top here, you see three icons. One is a little graph. So if you click the little graph, you'll actually go to the graphs of the coin itself, and you can actually see how the coin is doing. And at first, it'll show you a line graph, which we don't really like because it does give you an overview. However, it doesn't tell you much, right? Once you go to, when you click here on the top, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, the 15-minute basically gives you what the coin has been. Each of these candles would represent 15 minutes. On the 1 hour, each of the candle represents 1 hour, and it tells you basically what the coin has been doing during that hour. If you look here, and I'm going to use the second last candle as an example, in the last 15 minutes, that bottom part of the green thick line is basically what point the price of the coin started at. The top part of the thick line is the ending price, which is at the end of the 15 minutes, what was the price of the coin. The small thin projection at the bottom of that tells you the lowest point that the coin reached, or the price of the coin reached, and the highest point that the coin reached would be up in this value here. So it tells you a lot of information. It gives you the general trend, and it gives you all of that information within a time period. If you want to then move back onto the coin itself, you just click back on your phone, and it will take you back to this area here. And if you want to change your token, you basically click on that pair itself, and you can search for whichever pair you're looking for, like let's say Bitcoin USDT, which is the one you'd probably start with at first, okay? I'm not going to go through all of this because it's a little bit complicated and we're going to be running out of time. The last thing that I want to show you, first of all, in the beginning of your trading journey, ignore the futures tab. You're going to lose a lot of money on that. I don't even use that. It's just too risky. So ignore it completely if you can. The last thing is the wallet. The wallet is your most important because the wallet tells you what you have. So at the top here, it will tell you your equity value in Bitcoin and the equivalent in US dollars. So you can actually see that grow day by day, minute by minute, if that's what you want to do. Then you will see that at the bottom, it will have a list of all the different cryptocurrencies that you have. So if you had bought ADA, that will actually show up on the top, and you will see your value of ADA on the side. Okay. Then here you see 3 different tabs. Deposit, which is where you can actually deposit either money, you can deposit cryptocurrency from another exchange, or you can actually make credit card purchase. Withdraw would be to withdraw your funds into a wallet, to withdraw your funds into another exchange or into another account, and transfer, where you can actually transfer your coins to another exchange or to another account. So that's basically what I think we would need for the beginning of, you know, buying and selling. And I'd appreciate, I mean, this is a very broad overview, and I think that, I mean, there is a lot that we need to learn, but I can't think of how we can actually fit it all in one session. So if anyone has any questions or you need some help, you can always just ask me. I have my WhatsApp number. I'm just going to add my WhatsApp number into the chat so that you can actually just, you know, if you need to ask any questions, and if I see that questions are coming up a whole lot, then what I will do is I will actually just make another session addressing all of those questions. If anyone has anything else to say, we can just, I'm just going to try and address some questions now. Okay, so someone here, oh, Patricia. So Patricia asked, should we use Binance Lite or Binance Pro? So the thing that you need to do is to switch off Binance Lite, because Binance Lite uses, I feel like it tends to use a conversion fee rather than a buy or sell fee, and that ends up costing you a lot more. So try and make sure that you're not using Binance Lite, that you're actually using Binance Pro. So how you do that, I'm just going to go into my Binance account, and I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to go into one of my accounts and just try and show you what that means.
Okay, while Sakina is doing that, firstly, I wasn't aware that there's a difference in price between Lite and Pro. I just thought Lite was just much more for someone who's new to it, because once you first get into Binance, if you're a beginner, stick with Binance Lite first, just learn to navigate around it. It's just a lot easier. Yeah. It's something like Luno. Binance Pro is hectic. You get all the yeah. Even I was like, well, I don't know what the hell was going on. So if you're very new to it, rather stick with Binance Lite. Maybe don't make your purchases on Binance Lite just yet. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a basic Luno account. If you look here on the top, right, you have your beginner's guide from Binance. You should actually go and read their beginner's guides. It's actually quite good. The thing is that I've noticed that they use a conversion fee. They actually use a conversion fee instead of the trading fee on Binance Lite. I'm not sure if that's changed now, but that was what it was before. So I ended up jumping straight into Binance Professional when I started. But obviously play around and see what you prefer. It is a much easier sort of outlook if you look at it. I mean, everything is just listed simply. There's not a lot of like crazy things going on. Let's say if we go to one of the coins like Pancake Swap, it shows you a simple line graph. I personally don't like the line graph because of the lack of information that it gives. And then you can obviously go to trade and actually buy it. I think it gives you your fee as you try and buy it, but yeah, that's if you want to use Lite. So when you switch that off, you end up going to Binance Professional. And here you have this entire workboard on your homepage and all of the stuff that I was talking about earlier. What I wanted to show everyone was the one thing that you can do to actually save money is you see here where it says use BNB to save fees. So if you click on that and if you switch that on, so here that would be off, here that would be on, you actually save 25% on fees when trading. So that's brilliant because, and as you trade more, you actually save up on more fees. So that's actually something that you should actually make sure that you do, just so that you can save as much as possible on on the fees that you're paying.
Cool.
The other thing I wanted, yeah.
Sorry, just looking at that, obviously you need BNB coins. You need to have some BNB coins in order to use that.
So I actually forgot to say, so the thing that I wanted to go back, the first thing that I would suggest if you're using Binance is to buy some BNB coins. What I usually tell people is that since BNB has value on its own, I would say, let's say you're putting in the starting, you're putting 100 Rand, okay, you're not doing that, but let's say 100% of whatever you have. You would take actually maybe about 10%, buy some BNB tokens, right? So that can actually be used for your fees. And you can also benefit from the fact that BNB is doing actually quite great right now. Like I'm just thinking, let me show you how it's actually doing now. So if you look at BNB USDT and you look at the day graph, it's actually quite nicely going up. I'm still waiting for that area. A lot of people panicked when they saw this big red candle going downwards, but I believe it's still going up. So I would say when you're starting off, firstly, like I said, Bitcoin is basically crypto gold. So what you do is you buy your Bitcoin and then decide, okay, what do you want to do and how do you want to trade? Each person will have their own way of trading, right? So I would say if you're using Binance to buy 10%, use 10% of your funds, or less if you're going to put a lot of funds to actually buy some Binance coins, then I would say take 40% and keep them in Bitcoin. And if you're wanting to trade every day or wanting to trade every week or so, maybe keep about 50% in USDT so that you can actually use that, against USDT pairs so that you could actually, trade, basically so that you can actually trade all the time. So you can actually make gains by trading these kind of coins here or these kind of pairs so that you can actually make these gains. So what you'll see then is that that 50% of USDT that you're trading against other coins will slowly start to grow. You'll see the 40% that you've kept in Bitcoin slowly start to grow. And you also see that while you are using your BNB to get a lot discount on fees, you're actually seeing your BNB grow at the same time. That I would say is very generic. Not everyone would want to do that, but a lot of you have asked me for starting point, and that's what I've been telling them to do, simply because that's what I feel would be the best beginner way to go forward, and then you can take it from there.
Sakina, okay, so why, okay, so you mentioned like 40 or 50 in Bitcoin. Bitcoin and the rest, and 40 in USDT, and trade with the USDT.
Yeah.
But why would you not just put it all in Bitcoin and then trade from Bitcoin?
So right, so
Bitcoin
that's when your goals come into play here, right? So are you trying to increase your Bitcoin holdings? Because if you are trying to do that, what I personally do is keep my money in Bitcoin and use Bitcoin and other pairs to actually start trading. So as other coins, let's say if XRP goes green above Bitcoin, I buy XRP when it's low and I sell when it's high to Bitcoin. So I actually end up, the end point of that would be to increase the amount of Bitcoin holdings that I have. Whereas if you were doing the same with, let's say, South African rands or USDT, you end up just increasing the amount of USDT or rands that you have. So you need to understand, or you need to sort of decide what you want to do or what your targets are.
Okay, cool. So
and
I
like
guess
I
I
said,
probably
this is
don't.
very generic. Everyone must do their own thing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I probably don't understand this part of the trading. I'm still a beginner when it comes to all of this. But if you're trading from Bitcoin, and Bitcoin in a bull market is going up all the time, then surely it will always be better than leaving it in USDT, which is stable, which is staying stable. Wouldn't, like, say for example, you mentioned Bitcoin, XRP. If you say you put in 100 rand in and you had 100 rand in Bitcoin versus USDT, in tomorrow, or say in a week's time, that 100 rand will still be 100 rand in USDT. There's a good chance it would have gone up to 110 in Bitcoin, which will make it better, right? So,
exactly, which is exactly what I use. But I find that a lot of people, I'm not sure why, but a lot of people don't want that. They actually, I obviously, I mean, a lot of people do. What I personally do is that I have a very little in USDT, which I use to follow trades, let's say by another person or another person that I follow that would suggest trades in USDT. Whereas the trades that I personally do, or the ones that I personally track, are always in Bitcoin versus whichever other cryptocurrency. Because like you say, you're actually then benefiting from not only the rise in Bitcoin, but the rise in the other coin as well as Bitcoin compounded onto that. And what you'd see is that your overall value, even if you're looking at the value in US dollars or rands, would actually go up. But it depends also, like when I sort of discuss with different people, it depends where they are and what their goals are and what they feel is easier. A lot of the times people don't understand that that compounding effect of having the coin go up and Bitcoin going up at the same time and benefiting like that.
Cool. Well, I guess, like as Naveen was saying earlier, I guess it was just considered sounder financial advice, because Bitcoin is volatile, it could go down. So it doesn't have to compound up. You could actually lose in that way.
You could actually be losing. But if you look at the historical, the way that Bitcoin has been doing historically, we do find that it has on average gone up. I mean, like I said, that 170% since last year is quite a significant value. I remember in 2017 when we were all stressing because of the fact that, it had gone up to about 270,000 rand and then plummeted down back to 80. But if in hindsight, that didn't really matter now, did it?
Exactly.
Okay, so we only have 2 minutes left of this presentation. I think we can have another discussion another time. If you guys are still interested in actually doing more, then we can obviously do another session like this another time. I've posted my cell phone number for WhatsApp purposes. For anyone whose questions I didn't answer, you can just basically WhatsApp me. That's fine. If I have time, I will try and answer. As you can see, Tej is also one of the guys who you should be asking. So WhatsApp him as well. Yeah, and happy trading. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know. Tej, you want to give a few last words there?
I was thinking, Sakina, that the group that we've already set up, we've got about 80 or 90 people already on that group. And I
Yeah.
think we're quite advanced now. The discussions that we are having is very, very advanced. I'm not sure if we should maybe, if you want to set up like a beginners group, and we can
That's
draw
what
all
I
the
was actually
people.
thinking, that we should actually
Yeah.
set up a beginners group, because a lot of the time these groups start up and the beginners get left behind, which is why I wanted to sort of catch everyone up, but quickly, but it's just not possible. But yeah, I will try and do that. And then I think I'll send the invite to everyone. Yeah, and then yeah, sure. Everyone, please just send me a message, add to beginners group, and I will add you.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. I hope you learned something from this.
Thanks, Sakina. Really appreciate your time and effort there.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Akina. Yeah, to anyone who's a rank beginner, this would have probably still been very overwhelming. But
Yeah.
Sakina has been more than helpful in doing what she's done. So yeah, just shocked. I understand that Binance itself has some great tutorials that will run you through how things work. Look for
Exactly.
easy tutorials on YouTube as well. Yeah, and once we create the beginner group, I'll be happy to be on there as well, and we'll be more than happy to run you through how these work. Cool.
Perfect. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Bye, guys.